All right, everybody. Got another quick knife review. Went over and picked up a Ryder Reserve, one of my favorite brands of traditional knives. This one wasn't on sale, so I did have to pay full price, but this is it's a large trapper in blue denim micarta, and it's the RRR 011 trapper model. So let's open it up, take a look, see if we like it. Well, I already know I like it. That's why I bought it. Hold on 1 second. All right, comes in the nice collector tin. Don't care, not a collector. I just like knives. Put all that back in there. Comes with a little microfiber sort of thing. Then it's wrapped up in that. So goodness, this is a big boy. That is a big old traditional knife. I would compare it to my tear jerk that I normally have in my pocket, but I was out riding the motorcycle today and it was raining. So being that it's D2 steel, wasn't sure if that would rust or not, if it sat in my pocket for several hours all wet and soggy. So I threw that in my backpack on the waterproof compartment and forgot to grab it. So let's take a look at it. First of all, let's go through the links. Well, let's talk about what it has. So it's got a big old blade. We've got our sheep foot. Very long. Damn, how long is that blade? This is a big boy, man. So that blade tip to there is about 3.65 inches with a cutting edge of about 3 1/4, almost 3 1/4. That's a really long blade. So we've got that. We have also got a nice spay blade, and that is beautiful. And that is also, yeah, about the same length, 3 1/4 inch cutting, or 3 1/8, yeah. Feels very, very sharp. We'll do a sharpness test in a minute. I really can't stress enough how much I like these Ryder Reserves. I mean, really nice grinds, really nicely done. The bolsters are beautiful. You can't tell where the pins are. They do such a good job. All of your transitions, seamless. All of these surfaces, I mean, really, really well polished. Almost hardly any gap back there. I mean, you almost see a hint of one, but not really. Smooth, no sharp edges. Everything is beveled. That's a good one. No proud pins. Nothing. Nothing sticks out. Blade wobble, perfectly in spec. On these kinds of knives, you can't adjust the tension like you can with a normal, like a pivot on a modern knife where you can tighten the Torx head just a little bit. These are kind of what they are. Nothing excessive. Nah, feels good, nice and tight. Spring is snappy, but not overly so. You're not gonna have to worry about blade wrap here because they do use blade stop pins that engage up here. That will keep the blade from getting blade wrap, or whatever they call it, where the blade hits that hump on the back spring. So you get your walk and talk, and it has a pretty good snap to it without being excessive. But I don't have to worry about the blades making contact, and that's something that has always impressed me about the Ryder Reserves, is that they put that extra step in. The $100+ Bokers and some of the other knives that I've got that are, $70, $80, $100 something dollars, $120. Those don't have those stop pins. Lion Steel does it, and these guys do it. So kudos to them. So let's do some quick sharpness tests. Oh yeah. Yep. Try to get little curls going on the edge. Yep. Beautiful. Push test. Won't do the push test. Let's try the other blade. See if the spay blade is any sharper. Felt sharper when I touched it. Yeah, I mean, just beautiful. I'm barely putting any pressure. Push test? Nope, not push test either. Nope. So we're not doing push tests, but it's definitely a great slicer. That is a really nice blade. This fills the hand really nice. That is a very cool blade. I like the traditional knives And I love like the Barlow design. I've been carrying that other one for a while. The Tear Jerk model. It's a 2-blade Barlow. So it's got the big spear blade, and then it's got a small, it's small. Both of them are smaller, but then it's got the sheep's foot. And that one's just big enough. I've got a regular Barlow from these guys, but it's a little tiny knife. So if I'm going really discreet, gentleman's carry, then that's fine. But, for me, for a guy with my hands my size, I want a knife I can really get in there and grip. And if I had to do some work with it, I could be able to, to do that. And when I'm trying to hold a knife like this, because it's small, so I'm trying to grip it, it's good for just doing little tasks. But anything that requires any real pressure, doesn't work as well. So I like these bigger knives. I like that the spring is stiff, but not too stiff. So grabbing that, you can pinch it open, and closing it is easy. The nail nicks are nice and deep, unlike some of the Bokers that I've got, where the nail nick is so shallow that if my nail is pretty trimmed like that, I have trouble getting it. I have to try like 3 or 4 times, and I have to put a lot of pressure to force what little thumbnail I have in there. This, boom, no problem, grips it nice. The Boker doesn't do a good job. They're not that deep. And this leading edge here, that edge is straight, and then that edge goes like that. But this edge goes straight down, which makes this a 90-degree turn. So you can hear my nail grabs that. What little nail I have, you can see I don't have much, but it grabs it really nice. So they do a better job than a lot of the Bokers. The blue denim micarta is beautiful. Got the shield inlay there, whatever that's supposed to be, an arrowhead, or I don't know. It's a pointy thing, but good job on this. So I didn't get this one on sale. Like most of the Rough Ryder Reserves I bought, I got them for $35. But they've actually run through their inventory and got down because he just ordered way too many of them. So he was just selling them half price just to get rid of them, to free up some space. But those are mostly gone. So now, I did have to pay full price for this, but this is really nice. That is a nice knife. I would put this up against, because now all right, so for $66, you're basically talking case money, right? I would put this up against any case knife I have ever used in that price range. Now, I'm not talking about their more one-off collector pieces or custom ones that are up above $100, or, I've seen some of the case knives that are actually closer to $500. I haven't handled those. But any of the case knives that I've had that are in that $65 to $70, $75 range, I would put Rough Ryder Reserve up against them any day, and these are, they are a much, much better knife. The materials are nicer, the blade steel is better, the grinds are nicer, the fit and finish is nicer. In there, you've got phosphor bronze washers down in there. So this action is brand new. It is smooth as butter. And you don't have to worry about the blade wrap. All of my case knives, my Stockman, both Stockmans, and the Trappers, at least one of the blades smacks into the damn spring, that little bulge down there that you see. And all of them have that nick until I put a piece of leather in there or I grind off enough blade, which is not optimal because then you're getting up to the thicker part of the blade and you're ruining it. So to me, that's a design flaw. All you got to do is put a damn pin down there. Put that pin in there. These guys do it. Lion Steel does it. I don't know why Case and even Boker can't do that. Well, they could. They choose not to. But that is a really nice knife. Not stabby at all. So this is good for cutting tasks and slicing, food prep, all that kind of stuff where you want to do some slicing, you want to do some cuts, but you want to be careful. Not, maybe what you have is delicate. You don't want to stab a hole in something, poke a hole through it. But when you want to poke a hole in something and you want to do those really precise draw cuts like an X-Acto knife, then you get on this and you choke up on it and you get really, really wicked sharp draw cuts and really nice piercing. I like 2-blade knives like that. It gives you redundancy, so if you dull one, break one, something happens, you're not where you can get another knife or sharpen it. Great, I got a backup blade. It's like having 2 knives in one. They're both big, long, serviceable blades. And D2 steel is pretty tough steel, so you shouldn't break one. But if you did, you'd be glad you got that backup one without having to actually carry a second knife. And also, different blades are good at different types of cutting tasks. So oftentimes blades are really good at one thing, but then that makes them not so good at another. So why not get 2 blades that are almost at other ends of the spectrum from each other, so that regardless of whatever type of cutting task you need to do, you got a blade that is designed for that. I also like the fact that it has the half stops. So when you are closing it, it's just, to me, it's a little bit safe. You're pushing in it, and all of a sudden it frees up, and maybe your finger's like that, which is how I took the end off my finger on the one knife that didn't have that. But it stops, so you're like, okay, get your finger out of the way and push it the rest of the way. So that is the Rough Ryder Reserve. What did I say it was? The 011. Beautiful. Beautiful. I've been thinking about this for a while. I went in, saw it, and I'm like, you know what? I'm taking that one home today. Very glad that I did.